There was a research study in which the researchers conducted a social experiment. They asked a bunch of people who are getting into a subway train to do something very simple. They said, just make an eye contact with somebody in the train, some stranger, and maybe say hello or just say a few words. And there were other people who were told, like, just keep doing whatever you're doing. So no need to, they were not instructed to make an eye contact or make a social connection. And then after the train ride was over, they measured what was the extent of happiness they felt about their life. How did they feel about their life? What was the happiness level? How did they perceive life? And they found something very interesting. Just by making a small social connection, by making an eye contact or by saying hello to a stranger, those people, they felt distinctly more positive, more optimistic. They felt happier about life. What does it tell us? It tells us that social connection is very, very powerful. And this was not just one study. There was another study done in a museum, the exact same thing, very similar thing. Again, make an eye contact and say something. And in fact, they had one more group where they were told, just make an eye contact, don't say anything. And of course, the third group was just go about your life. Once again, social connection is a huge driver of happiness and joy. Now, it might look like we live in this perfect age of happiness because today with social media, with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, we are able to make connections not with 10, 20 people around us, but we can literally connect with thousands of people across the globe. What could be better? And yet, it looks like today people are a lot more lonely. Yes, they are feeling more lonely. They are depressed. They are more anxious. So this sort of, it doesn't compute. How is it possible that in this age of hyper-connectedness, of all things, we are feeling lonely? What's going on here? For that, we have to understand what is social connection and what is loneliness. How do human beings feel close to each other? And here is what I believe I want to share with you. I think the first thing that brings us together is when we share some personal space or maybe eye contact. A lot of the social media platforms, what do? They are like notice boards. So I can put my pictures, I can put some posts you can see and respond. But we never share our personal space. We are not sitting and looking at each other in the eye. We are not meeting for dinner. We are not talking to each other. Now, of course, on Zoom or on video conference calls, you have some kind of eye contact. But nevertheless, it may not be as close as meeting somebody in person for a coffee or maybe just in train. There is one more problem. When we are connected via all these social networks, we are, instead of getting closer, we are actually moving away from each other. Why is that? Because when we are sharing things, we share the best snippets or sometimes even very artificial snippets of our life. We don't share photographs when we are feeling frustrated or getting bored doing nothing. We share a photograph when we went to Maldives for a vacation or went on a beautiful hike or whatever, and that's fine. But what happens is when you post those pictures and when I see somebody's picture enjoying a vacation in Maldives or Mauritius or wherever, what is my reaction? Quite often my reaction is, that guy has a great life, man. Like, my life is not great. So when I saw your picture, what emotion did it bring out? Envy, sometimes jealousy, sometimes unhappiness, sometimes frustration, like, why can't I have a better life? Does it make me connect? Of course not. And there's one more thing. Human beings can make social connections, make good, meaningful connections only to a certain degree. So you cannot be close friends with 10,000 people. That number probably might be even less than 100, most likely. So we can have meaningful connections only with a small number of people, and all these platforms, they are doing exactly the opposite. They're making you more lonely, they're making you more disconnected. And that's one of the reasons why today the levels of anxiety and depression has gone up, especially among the segment of people who are using these platforms more. High usage of online on social media is clearly correlated to high levels of depression, anxiety, people harming themselves. it is harming us in so many ways. So now what's the outcome? Do we disconnect ourselves from internet? Do we sort of not use Instagram at all? Well, we don't have to go that far. But there are a couple of things that we have to do. One is we have to remember that a friendship or a meaningful social connection, it is not the same as an online friend or first degree connect or whatever. So first thing is, let us start making meaningful connects with a small number of people. It doesn't have to be a huge number. If possible, meet face to face, meet for coffee, just say hello, just talk to them. Second thing is, when we want to make a connect, we have to share something. So as an example, if we help somebody or somebody helps us or somebody shares a moment where they were vulnerable, where they faced a challenge. Authentic connection is what truly matters. And finally, don't allow your devices to come in the way of these connections. If you're talking to somebody at the same time, you're glancing at the phone every few minutes under the table, that is not helping. It is actually breaking social connections. So if you want to bring some joy and happiness into our life, I think we have to find occasions and opportunities to say hello, to connect with people, and do it, if possible, face to face in real life. And those connections will make a change, not all these online social connections. Try it out.